Hello everyone and welcome back to a new episode. Today we will be looking at Mono Black Professor Onyx. So she says, Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So we're going to be utilising this aspect of the card the most, hence the deck being called Onyx Storm. +1, you lose a life, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So this is a great way to get some card advantage and to put stuff into the graveyard if you have anything with flashback, perhaps. -3, each opponent sacks a creature with the greatest power, so it's good to get rid of the strongest threat. And -8, each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. Repeat this 6 more times. It's a bit like Torment of Hellfire. So that's quite a nice ultimate. It's pretty good, pretty good. So the way that we've made the deck is having quite a low curve, lots of instants and sorceries. So you're basically going to have the regular package of Thoughtseize, Inquisition of Kozilek, Dark Ritual, and Duress to pump out your early plays. And then once you start getting into the top end, I've included as usual the Bolas Citadel with the Aetherflux Reservoir combo. So the Reservoir says whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. And you can pay 50 life to deal 50 damage to any target. And combine that with Bolas' Citadel, which lets you cast cards from the top of your deck. As long as you don't hit 2 lands in a row, you should be good to keep going and going and going. And then also you can finish people off by using Tendrils of Agony. So it says it deals the target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, but it has Storm. So this copies itself for each spell you've cast before, even your opponent's spells. So we're going to try and finish someone off using this synergy today. Probably quite unlikely to get it, but there are a few ways to increase the odds. You've got Inventor's Fair, which is a land. You gain 1 life on your upkeep, you have 3 more artifacts, so it's kind of like Metalcraft. It adds 1 mana. If you tap it, or you can pay 4, sack it, search your library for any artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand. So that not only does this search for Citadel, but it searches for Reservoir. And only if you have 3 more artifacts can you activate the ability. And then the only other tutor for now I think we've got is Grim Tutor in the deck. So just for 3 mana, search for any card, put that into your hand. So yeah, I'm trying to go for a slightly more combo-y finish with this deck, which is unlike me, really. And yeah, the deck list will be in the description below. Don't forget to check that out. Leave me a like and subscribe if you like what I'm trying to do with this deck. So yeah, let's see you in the games. Okay, so we're facing Korvold, which is going to be a Jund Sacrifice build. Our starting hand is quite nice because of the Argyle's Bloodfast, which I like to get out early so we can start drawing from that. So it basically says pay 2 life and draw a card. And we can mitigate the life loss later if we get Professor Onyx out and start casting spells. So that's a nice way to recover from the life loss. If we do get to 5 off your life though, it does flip into Temple of Alcazots. And then you can start sacking creatures to gain life equal to its toughness. Something that we probably won't be doing very much in the deck. Okay, let's go for the Skyclave Relic. Now here's an interesting thing. If we do get Revel and Riches out, this is going to be really good against Korvold because whenever a creature opponent dies, we get a treasure, and their deck is going to involve a lot of dying. So if we do ever get to 10 treasures, we win the game as well, which is pretty good. So unfortunately, they do have a Mayhem Devil, which does kind of hurt whenever we whenever we sacrifice things. So pretty rough. They also have a Fabled Passage, which can sack for 1 with Mayhem Devil and a Blood Token. So this is very reminiscent of Historic 60 card. I wonder why they didn't go for the Forest with the Fabled Passage. Maybe they're trying to go for a trigger? We'll have to see. Okay, so we will have access to our Professor Onyx in our turn. So the question is, if they go for Korvold now, then we can get rid of it, so that's good. They will still have access to Mayhem Devil, which is definitely an issue. Phyrexian Arena, okay. So 5. Now, annoyingly, if we do go for Onyx, and we minus, should be at 2. In response, Mayhem Devil can sack the Blood Token to discard draw. That's an extra 2. So they can kill Onyx if we go for Onyx here. So maybe what we should do is 5, 6. We could try and force them to put all their efforts into killing Onyx. So if we take up instead.
Under my tutelage, even
something like a board wipe would be good. Venus, Hunger, Aetherflux, Reservoir. So we've got half of the combo. Yeah, we'll go for the Reservoir because we need the life gain, I think. Although saying that, Venus, Hunger, we would be able to make them sack half their creatures. So maybe that was a mistake, but we'll see. Interesting that they didn't sack that there. I guess they wanted extra triggers for the Korvold. Eldritch Reborn, okay. That's annoying. So they didn't even have to ping it at all with Mayhem Devil. Okay, that is sad. And then they can revive something later on if we have something in the graveyard for them. So luckily Alina doesn't hit the graveyard here. We have access to 5, 6, 7 mana, so we could go for the Aetherflux Reservoir plus the Foreboding Fruit. Yeah, they definitely have a lot of pieces in place. So let's just draw 2 cards. And we also get a food token as well, which you can sack to. Oh, so we have the Citadel. So if we last one more turn, this could be good here. Now, the issue is if they look in our hand and discard the Citadel, or perhaps something else, but we'll see. So the fact that they're attacking first, what does that tell me? I guess... not really sure. They're very hesitant to go for Korvold pre-combat. Okay, so here we go. Here goes the Korvold. So there's a lot of triggers on the stack here, which is not sure why they have to go manual triggering for each of them, but there you go. Right, so it's all or nothing now. We've got the tendrils. Ah, it's almost perfect. We just don't have enough. Right, let's go for the Citadel first. We have to get super lucky here. Okay, so there's... okay, we keep wanting to see spells on top. This is good. Let's see how long we can go. So killing the Blood Artist is going to be vital, because it keeps draining us. But don't forget, we get... oh, we can keep going, can't we? Yeah, let's go Soul Shatter. So I don't think they're liking this, but let's see how sporting they are. They're probably a bit stunned. Okay, I don't know why they had to do that then, but there you go. I guess they wanted to do more damage, yeah. Fair enough. We're at 4. We're at 7. Okay, they sacked their Korvold, interesting. Now, annoyingly, they've got... I've just realised they have an Ugin in their graveyard. So we'll be at 2. Oh, this is really beautiful here. This is really beautiful. Right, go for the keys. We'll be at 2, but we gain life. And we could even go for the D-Spark here, just to... well, they're saying, are we going to be able to cast this? Okay, we can only cast it next turn then, can't we? So we'll discard the Swamp. And this is going to seem weird, but we can go for the Extinction Event just to gain some life. And how much mana do we have? So we do have 4, 5. So it's definitely risky. The Elders Reborn could get back anything to stop us going off here. What if we go for... So we don't have anything to kill the Baleful Mastery. That's the sad part. I guess we could just go for the Tendrils now, just to make sure that we don't die. So we should be able to stay in the game quite a bit. We're not going to win from this, unfortunately, but... it's going to be a freaking good hit. So you can see the idea with the deck. And then they're at 9. How many permanents do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can literally win the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that felt really cool. Oh, that was awesome. We were going to be in trouble next turn. Freaking awesome game. Right. Opponent's going first with Edgar Charmed Groom. And our starting hand is quite nice, actually. We've got the Bajuka Bog early, which is a shame, because I like to have that late game, but we've got the Dark Ritual start. So I think we go for the Bajuka Bog now, just to get that out of the way, so we can play our other spells on curve. So I've only ever seen one type of Edgar Charmed Groom deck, and it's probably going to be Vampire Tribal. Forerunner of the Legion. Okay. Search for a vampire, reveal it, put it on top of the deck. So if we could make them shuffle or mill now, that'd be really good. Unlikely, but the option is there. Whenever another vampire enters, target creature gets +1/+1 to end the turn. Okay. So they're going for the indestructible creature. So how much mana would we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Well, let's give it a go then. Let's see if Onyx can stick around.
Well, darn. Looks like you flunked out. Mwah.
If they have removal for Onyx, I'm tempted to put her in the graveyard, because then we could just Elders Reborn and get her back.
Great.
Yeah,
So
okay.
much for a new start.
So we won't put her in the command zone. And yeah, we'll just pass up. So he did actually get the Field of Ruin there. So if there was something really powerful on top and we were in time, it would have been good to have that. Okay. So what should we do? I think I'm going to, what does it say? Whenever he dies. So let's exile him. Don't want to be dealing with all that stuff. Land is fine. So yeah, we'll just play the patient game. Eventually we are going to get Lily back with the Elders Reborn, as long as they don't have a way to exile stuff. Here comes a Sorin. So Sorin could revive something, but the thing that he revives we can kill, and then in our turn we can just reborn the Elders Reborn the Sorin. So we still have a good sequence. Not sure why people leave the Fable Passage up like that. I guess it's some kind of elitist behaviour from Standard. It's actually quite dangerous to not use your Fable Passage, because let's say I was going to kill this creature and they had a response which required 2 mana, and they sack this to get the 2nd mana, right? I could then use a 2nd spell to kill this creature before they could protect it with their protection spell. Just a thought there. Like here, for instance, if they had any 2 mana spell that they want to interact with the Forerunner, I could now disrupt them before they could do it, so... think the only reason to not crack a Fabled Passage is probably in Standard, which is a format where you want to keep stuff mysterious and not tell someone the colours you're using. So we're very lucky here because we even have a way to make them get rid of the Adunto Vanguard as well. So luckily we did use the correct spells in the correct order, because if we tried to kill this now, they would have played 4 life. So if we do the Skyclave Relic, no, we don't have enough. So let's go for Elders Reborn. And we could even get a card out of the hand with this as well. It looks like we are. So what do we get rid of? Get rid of the Epic Downfall. So for now, we could go for the kicked Skyclave Relic. Or we could go for the key. So the key would be nice because it would give us a potential answer for Edgar. I guess... How much toughness does Edgar have? He has 4 toughness. The only way of killing it would be none of these cards. Oh, that's a shame. So I suppose the only useful thing... I suppose we go for the Electrolyze because it can draw us a card. Get rid of the Eliminate here. Or they're saying that I probably should have got rid of the Skyclave Relic. But the thing about keeping this is it helps us cast Liliana later on as well. Warlock class. Another nice synergy with Electrolyze is it deals 2 damage divided. So if Edgar dies and creates tokens each turn, we can kill 2 tokens over time. It's a funny old battle, this one. They've had a lot of removal and creatures, and we've kind of just run a bit empty as well. Essentially what we need is some kind of card advantage, to be honest. So we hit the Reservoir, which could be useful later on. And yeah, we're going to use her minus here to get rid of the Edgar. Obviously, he'll come back over and over again, but... Deadly Dispute. Interesting. Okay, yeah, kind of makes sense. And I think... 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a good window to go for the kicked Skyclave Relic, just to give us some more mana. And we even have enough mana to go for the Electrolyze because the Key to the Archive taps for 2 mana of any colours. Inquisition. So we're going to have to use this now, unfortunately. Otherwise we're going to lose that. And we get to drain them a little bit as well. And the Inquisition won't be able to hit the Aetherflux Reservoir, so hopefully we don't get anything else they can hit. No. So it's a dud. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they could go for stage 3. Drana. Oof. So if we don't get rid of Drana, they're going to be able to revive non-legends from the graveyard. Infernal Grasp, well that definitely does it. Let's draw with Onyx first. Another Lily, fantastic. Go for the...
Come on, there's got to be something useful.
Reservoir. And let's try and kill Drana now in case I've got any way to protect it in their turn. And although they know we have the Swamp, I'm not going to play it. Just in case they have a card that says when it comes in, opponent discards. It's quite useful to keep stuff like this in your hand. And also, it will probably confuse the enemy, because they'll be questioning why I haven't played it despite the fact they can see it. So Edgar will come back next turn. Ooh, Lineal's Triumph. That's going to be nice to make them discard.
Let's go digging.
So to avoid giving them... So what could we do? Pardon me. So on your upkeep, they create a 1/1. Then if there are 3 counters, remove them and transform it. So in their turn, they're going to have 2 2/2s and an Edgar. So we kind of want to save... It won't have haste, though. So we kind of want to save... No, we can still cast it, can't we? We'll still cast it. And we'll go for a little bit of protection.
Has a nice ring to it.
And we can still use the Triumph.
Help is easy to find in war.
And Triumph will also make them discard as well. Okay, so now we definitely want to do it in our turn, but that's fine. We do gain a bit of life with this because of the Aetherflux as well. Also, they lose their final card. Let's see what that card was.
A little death never
Oh,
hurt
Meat
anyone.
Hook Massacre. Okay.
They were a lousy servant anyway.
So, Edgar's actually really good. When it flips, it basically becomes a 6/6, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Heraldic Banner, okay. So they don't have... Oh, it does have haste.
That's no way to treat a lady.
That's interesting. So, a transformed permanent... Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I just want to quickly look at that. Transform it. So, oh, I see. It transforms it, but the act of transforming, it means it doesn't leave the battlefield. Therefore, a permanent that you control at the beginning of your upkeep won't have summoning sickness. Interesting. So I thought it was more of an exile and return. Oh, okay. So just a little note for you there. A flipped Edgar will be able to attack. So that could have been important because I could have lost my Professor Onyx there without realising it. Okay, fair point. Moving on to the next game. We go first again against Azusa, and we've got really powerful cards, so let's keep this hand. Once again, going for the Bajuka Bog for no value. So once they get to 3 mana, play the Azusa, they're going to be able to get to a lot of mana, so... Unfortunately, we can't really stop that. Okay, so this isn't technically ramp, so we'll just go for the Phyrexian Arena here. Arena's going to be very powerful. Interesting, they chose to do that before drawing. I'm not sure if that changes anything. Boom, boom. That's a lot of mana they got now. So is it risky if we go for Bolas Citadel here? It is risky, but let's try, see what happens. Oh, it's a land, of course it is. Turn 4, Bolas Citadel. Do they have a way to get rid of our artifacts and enchantments? If they do, then we might be dead because we've spent 2 cards to get 1. And I'm just hoping that we can get some more advantage out of the Citadel before we just die. Settle the Wilds. So that's a lot of mana. 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the thing about mono green ramp. It used to be the way that green could either ramp or go into the big creatures. But now green has access to draw. It's just kind of... Green's kind of OP now. Ooh, okay. Elspeth's Nightmare. Let's get rid of the Azusa. Let's go for the Celesta. So they've already got access to 8 mana, so I'm not sure if this is actually going to be... I'm not sure we're going to be able to survive this, but we'll see. Oh, they didn't activate it in response. That's weird. So even as something like a Crater Hoof Behemoth wouldn't quite kill us here. It'd be very powerful. But because Ugin's gone from the format, the Haymakers are not quite as strong. Bit of a downside in our deck is I've got about 39 lands. In a deck like Bolas Citadel, you don't really want to see that many lands, but You want to be able to hit stuff like Onyx. Okay, so we're down to 10. So that's certainly scary. Okay, let's go for the... Oh, actually, I don't know if that's... Yeah, let's go for the Professor Onyx. Oh, of course. We can't...
New opportunities.
Oh, yeah. It comes in with a few counters, doesn't it? Okay, sure. So we're probably dead here. Duress. Heartless Act. Okay, so let's start with the Duress. Let's see what's in the hand. Oh my goodness. All creatures. Okay, sure. So let's get rid of the Vorinclex. So this essentially costs nothing. 8 mana, so they could go for the Vorinclex. Yep, so now our mana isn't going to untap. So it looks like it's a totally creatures build, which I absolutely respect. Apart from that, those two spells aren't creatures. Okay, Sorin. So I guess the first thing we want to do is get rid of the Vorinclex, otherwise we're not going to be able to play Magic with the cards in our hand. So these 3 went on tap, but luckily we do have the Bolas' Citadel. They are just coming out with the heavy hitters, aren't they? And let's go for Sorin. And then we can uptick Onyx.
But it's necessary work.
So yeah, don't really want to lose any more lives. So let's go for that ability.
I bring my
And yeah, I'm happy to pass the turn. Props to the opponent for sticking in there. I guess all they need is haste, really, isn't it? Or some... But yeah, our field is mental right now. It's amazing how consistent I'm getting out the Citadel today, considering it's a singleton format. Here comes Kogler. So in response to the trigger, we can exile it, gaining some life along the way. So yeah, I think the writing's definitely on the wall now. We don't need that on top. Direfleet Hoarder could be nice. And Augur of Autumn. Okay, sweet. Okay, so let's look at what's in their hand. So get rid of the Ashaya. Then we also want to get rid of... Yeah, let's just get rid of stuff in the hand here. And once again, we're hitting the Aetherflux reservoir, so this is pretty crazy. Let's go for the exile effect. Yep. Don't think there's any way they can come back from this. We are gaining an insane amount of life. Opponent goes first with Nicol Bolas the Ravager. Our starting hand is really quite terrible against a control deck. So we're going to mull this. Slightly better because we've got some ramp and some interaction with their potential Planeswalker heavy deck. Okay, so it's quite simple to start out, get as much ramp out as possible. I guess they're going to go for black mana here. Could be red, but I said black because if they've got the other boluses, there's a bolus with 3 black in the mana cost. But okay, so they must have some good black sources. Okay, so lots of lovely ramp. So we've got 6 mana on our turn 3. Looks like they missed a land drop. Dragon Master Outcast, okay. Let's go for Onyx. And I know how scary that can get, so I think I'm just going to make them sack it.
This is is my favorite part. Watch the life essence fade.
If they go for Bolas, I'll happily discard Power Word Kill because this doesn't kill dragons. Okay. Interesting. So they don't have much black land, do they? Okay, let's go for a swamp ourselves. Let's get lots of planeswalkers out then. This is the kind of game it's going to be.
Require servants. Your corpse will volunteer. This looks like a fun new toy.
Bolas tribal versus Liliana tribal, it seems. Killing the zombie. Oh, bouncing it to hand. Oh, that's very clever. So that means we don't draw a card with Liliana because it wasn't killed per se. So now we can discard the useless removal spell. And they're going to try and hit a land drop, but they miss again. So I don't want to lose Lily, so let's Optic first. And we hit the Reservoir, which is fantastic. Hit that a lot today.
I have impeccable study.
And let's just minus the Lily, get rid of the Bolas here.
More useful in the grave.
4, 5, 6, 7. So let's go for the Reservoir. And then draw some cards. Oh, it's beautiful seeing these triggers go off. Cool, so I've got a really powerful setup. So all we need now is Bolas' Citadel. And we're on our way. Can the opponent come back? Any lands, perhaps? Gadrak? Okay, we're still hanging in there. They can draw a card from this and hopefully... Ooh, very nice. Charter Course is a really powerful card, drawing 2. If you attacked, otherwise you discard 1. Sweet. So what can we do? We have many options. So let's make a zombie. I could just minus the Onyx. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, I don't want to be greedy. Get rid of their 5/4.
Sorry, you don't.
Go for Key to the Archive. We might get something cool. I guess Despark is the best one for their deck. Discard a card. We can afford to discard Essence Extraction because I'm not sure they're going to have many creatures. And yeah, let's pass the turn. I like the cards in our hand, so let's keep it as is. So because of Onyx and the Reservoir, whenever we cast a spell, we're going to gain at least 3 life, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Blood in the Snow to kill all of our Planeswalkers. That's sad.
Thank you for all looks the like kindness. You're on your own now. Ugh.
And because they have 4 snow mana, they get back. What are they going to get back? Gadrak or Dragon Master, I guess. Yeah, that's a shame. Okay. So let's exile the Outcast either way, because we don't want that to live on, do we? And what's the top card? Blood Patch drawing cards, fantastic, that's just what we want to see. Right, so they may have more ways to get rid of the Onyx, so let's just see if they do. We want to keep ahead as long as we can.
The essence of life is in.
We'll get the Signing Blood.
From the essence of death.
And then... yeah, let's draw some more cards here. So yeah, if we do get to 50 life, it's going to be bad for the opponent. So yeah, the idea with this kind of deck is you want to keep a lot of threats up, so they can only do one thing at one time. Obviously, the Blood in the Snow is an exception there. Oof. Inferno of the Starman. So it looks like they've gone for Dragon Tribal, which is quite sweet. Not seen this version of the deck before. So they can just kill Onyx here because of the fact they have the haste. So I have to admit, I did not expect them to have haste. Otherwise, I would have kept up the Despark. 10 mana. So maybe it's time to not keep casting things over and over again. Let's exile the Inferno. Yeah, I want to leave Onyx up for a stage when I feel comfortable being able to possibly protect her. Saying that, we didn't really get any more draw spells. But yeah, I'm happy to just swing in. So how many more dragons could they possibly have? We've even got the crawling barons here, so we can start aggressing them. Mana form Halkite, okay. So whenever they cast non-creature spells, they can create illusions. So yeah, it's definitely a cool dragon build. So we're going to make them sacrifice this before they get a chance to sacrifice the token. So despite the fact we have been drawing quite a few cards this game, they have managed to keep up with us, which is quite interesting. I guess the Dragon's Horde is the issue here, isn't it? Let's activate the Calling Barons, put 2 counters on it. So luckily this will go at the end step. Skyclave Relic. I guess we could just be mega aggressive with the Crawling Barons. So activate this. Turn it into a creature, put more counters on it. And then, yeah, let's swing in for 8. Cool, so yeah, let's also go for the Skyclave Relic here. Now, annoyingly, they do have the Field of Ruin, so they could easily just get rid of the Crawling Barons, but I kind of want them to think about that. Okay, so they definitely thought about that immediately. Sure. Yeah, this could be tricky now. Especially, I think the turning tide was them coming out with the Inferno of the Star Mounts with the haste. Yeah, that was definitely problematic. Sarkhan, right.
Let us fight.
So, annoyingly, the Sarkhan gives them yet another card with Dragon's Horde. Winged Word. So they're kind of tapped out here. So let's exile the dragon. And the reason I exile the dragon is because I want to be able to swing in at Sarkhan and kill him. Because if I exiled Sarkhan, then they'd still have the 4/4 dragon left open. Okay, so that's fully tapped out. Murderous Rider. Okay, let's go for the Onyx here. Let's see how much damage we can take them down to. So Dark Ritual.
Even you can master death.
So down to 35. 3 mana open. So let's uptick with the Onyx. Solemn.
Come on, there's gotta be
And
something
I guess we just go for
useful.
Solemn because we're going to kill the Sarkhan anyway, aren't we? Now the issue is they've got like 7,000 cards in their hand. So swinging the Sarkhan, we can still use the Murderous Rider in their turn, which does take them to 6.
No.
So let's see what happens. Oh boy. So they've got another Bolas. So they're going to... What are they going to do? Uptick.
Will resonate
Downtick to kill Onyx.
the multiverse.
Okay.
Your
Thank you
existence.
for
Yeah,
all
this
the
is what I was
kindness.
fearing. It's getting out of reach now. Thematic Compass is going to be able to flip. So that means they will be able to fog one of our attacks going in at Bolas. Arcane Signet. So they're still going to have 3 mana open. It's disgusting how much synergy they have. That's going to flip, so I don't really want to use Murderous Rider yet. I want to see if I can attack them to the face. Interesting.
Wipe your bloodline from existence.
Can we resolve an Onyx here? Iron Eyes. Okay, this is getting it's getting quite hairy. But at least they weren't able to activate these spires. Right, pass to them. Them gaining life is considerably annoying as well because they're getting out of reach of our Onyx being able to drain them. And our Onyx costing 14 is not great when their general only costs 6. So here comes Bolas, and they even have enough mana to flip him. Yeah, I think the card of the game for them has been Dragon's Horde. Now, if they choose to flip him, then in response we go for Murderous Rider. Basically our only hope here. And if they do manage to flip him, I think we lose. Because they can revive anything from the graveyard. They can revive Bolas 2, Sarkhan. Okay, so the window is here. If they have Pact of Negation, we lose. Okay, that was very lucky. Okay, so they're at... Oh, exiling the graveyard. That's quite good for them. Oh, we get an Ugin. So let's swing in first. Let's go for Onyx.
If I won't be given a second chance.
Dreadhorde Invasion. Okay, this could be vital in finishing them off. They've only got
Never thought I'd
5
miss
life.
the library.
Okay, so they've got a lot of permanents to kind of get to grips with. I mean, if they have River's Rebuke, we're dead. So their bonus costs 8 just to cast and 7 to flip. So how much do they have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they're slightly off. They probably have a way to deal with Onyx. Shatter Skull Smashing. Okay, well that certainly deals with our Lily. That's a real shame. 16 mana to cast her now. Kind of insane. Dragon Hatchling. So yeah, this certainly certifies it as a dragon deck. Revel in Riches. Woo! Let's see if this comes out. Okay, so if we start killing their stuff... Okay, let's see if we can resolve an Ugin here.
Every exploit ripples.
Getting rid of the Dragon and Hatchling, as crazy as that sounds.
Be mindful. Bathe in
That's one treasure.
fire.
Swing in. So they have these Spires of Erasicus, so they can fog one thing a turn, so it's quite annoying. Now we've reached a state of being top decking, and that's not good. Okay, they've got a 7/7 now. If this hits us, we could be in trouble. They're at 5 life. 5 life. And it's proving to be very difficult to get through here. Demanding Dragon. Okay. Sacrifice a creature. Yeah, I guess we'll sack the 1/1. So we just need a board wipe as well. It's gonna be tough. So now we can't even attack in. Foreboding Fruit. Optic Hadouken. That's a Dire Fleet order. 16 mana, so we do have enough to cast the Onyx, but then not enough to do anything else really. So let's go for the Foreboding Fruit first. So sadly, not even Fatal Push is going to be enough here. So let's just go for the Onyx. So maybe in hindsight I should have done it in the other way around, but yeah, let's make them sack their Drakoseth, because that needed to go anyway, to be honest. We get another treasure.
Darn, looks like you flunked out. Mwah.
Okay, let's... So we've only got 2 attackers, haven't we? So if we attack, they block one and fog the other, so there's no point. Treasure. Okay, here comes Bolas. So do I want to just... How much money do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they even have enough to flip it. So this is going to be really bad here. So yeah, I think I'm going to drain them for 2 by killing my own zombie token. So they're going to be at 3. If they flip Bolas, they don't have the mana to go for these Spies of Araska. Oh, this is annoying, because if I last turn, if I cast Liliana first, they'd be at 1 life. So do they flip Bolas here? Going into kill the Professor Onyx.
If
Okay.
anyone needs me, don't.
Yeah, that is quite annoying. So bear in mind, we're at 45 as well. If we could somehow get to 51 life, we could potentially win the game. So we're going to need something like... I'm not really sure. Murderous Rider attacking gives us 2. Okay, so they flip. So they could probably need to revive something here.
Power is incredible. Isn't death
Interesting. So they go for a Bolas. I'm not sure if that's...
I am one again.
Oh, I think that was a really greedy move. Unless they go for... If they go for killing a creature, we still swing in, don't we? Oh, so they just kill it to revive... Okay, that was a weird move. Phyrexian Arena. Wait, doesn't this mean we just win? So it's Optic... Oh no, it doesn't, because Onyx would kill the Demanding Dragon. Hang on a second. Let's swing in. Let's just take it. Let's take it one step at a time. Swing in. So it will kill my guys. I draw a card. Ooh, Palaka Predation. Okay, interesting. So they're going to block the Murderous Rider. So we go to 46. Interesting. Okay. Let's go for the Dire Fleet Hoarder. We gain some life. Go for the Palaka Predation. We gain some life. Discard the Thassa. Go for the Arena. Think we win the game. Well, that was certainly a close one. Whoo-wee. Jeez. If you enjoyed watching this video, why not try some of my other videos on my channel? And don't forget to support me by hitting the like and subscribe button for more content like this.